Hey, this is Seth from GratefulGuitarLessons.com. Have a great lesson.
Of the world, the heart has its beaches, its homelands and thoughts of its own. Wake now, discover that you are the song that the morning brings. The heart has its seasons, its evenings and songs of its own. Away. There follows a wagon behind him that's loaded with grain. The seeds that were silent all burst into bloom and decay. The night comes so quiet, it's close on the heels of the day.
Hello and welcome to Eyes of the World, Bob Weir Rhythm Guitar Lesson. If there's a main theme for this one, it would be rhythmic phrasing, not rhythm strumming. Okay, there's almost no real strumming. Everything is a phrase. Maybe that's part of Bobby's kind of pianoistic style of doing things. I like it. He's also got quite a bit of individual lines in here. It's one of those chicken or the egg Grateful Dead questions, you know, like do the guitar players play bass lines because of the way Phil plays bass, or does Phil play bass that way because the guitarists play bass lines or whatever. But Bobby's got some bass line type stuff in his part and some single lines and some rhythmic phrases. So we're going to go through it piece by piece. Let's start with the intro. Alright, so the intro starts out with an E major 7 vamp. There's some kind of little changes in there, but it's basically just E major 7. It can be E major 7, E6, or it can be E major 7. It's mostly with a 6 thrown in there, but it's just an E major 7 vamp. And Bobby's got some kind of nice textural high-end stuff that he does. Here's E major 7. Okay, I'm just going to use 3 strings. Okay, this first one here, E major 7, it's kind of an A, but it's not acting like an A over the E. It's like an E6. You got your C sharp, you got your E. The A is kind of thrown in, but so you can kind of play little A triads. Okay, and notice it's not, strumming. It's a rhythmic phrase. Okay, and also, here he's just playing an E triad. He's not playing E major 7 there, and it's something that you'll see a lot in Grateful Dead music. Is just because a song's on a particular chord doesn't mean everyone has to play every note of that chord. It's in the context of the band, so you can reduce it. You can play just a simple part and somebody else is going to express some of the other aspects of the chord, or else sometimes you can express just the the extensions, the other key notes, and leave out some of the root triad notes and leave that to somebody else. So you don't have to play full chords. Actually sounds better if you don't. Okay, then another version of that. Again with the E major 7. Now here we've added an F sharp, which is a 9. So we've got a 9, a 6, and I guess an 11. Jerry will play a 6, 9 chord there as well. Gives it a nice jazzy sound. But still in a real major context. Bobby will get way up high. This is E major 7. Okay, if you think of your E triad in the D shape, right, there's your root. The major 7 is 1/2 step below. You can think of that over here. Right? There's the root. Bring the root down 1/2 step. You get your major 7. So he's way up high. He does that from time to time. I like it. It makes me think of a mandolin sometimes. You can do it just like this, or you can get your whole A triad there. Which we spoke of earlier. It's kind of acting like an E6. Alright? And I'm kind of repeating the same phrase. You can have a little variation in the phrasing, but the idea is to have a phrase, not have it be too chaotic or willy-nilly, and kind of stick with a phrase, this idea of sentences and paragraphs, so don't just go randomly from one to another. Kind of establish one for a little bit, move to another based on what's going on with the jam. And then he's got this line that I've heard him do. Sends me reaching for the Bigsby. Okay, this is E here, E major pentatonic, right? Okay, again, that's E. 1/2 step down is your major 7. 7 here, or think of it like this. But you're going to see he's playing 2-3 notes at a time, and that's it. Gotta have Bigsby. Okay, so just some different ideas. You could play it down here too with the E major 7 and an A. But mostly you're going to hear him doing that stuff that's a little chimey, a little higher up, and creating phrases with it, leaving a little space in there, giving it a nice groove, and that's the intro.
Right outside this lazy summer home, ain't got time to call your solar critic, no. Right outside the lazy gate of winter's summer home, wondering where the nuthatch winners wings a mile long just to carry the bird away.
Alright, now we get to the first verse. I separated the first verse from the others because it's got a little extra few measures that don't appear in the second and third verses. But other than that, they're basically the same. Alright, the chords go E major 7, A, E major 7, then it's got this B minor to A. Alright, and again, Bobby's playing a rhythmic phrase with just a few notes. And he's got this lick. And there's already a few things to talk about here. Another sort of theme that I was thinking about for this actually is, you know, Bobby has parts. I sometimes think there's a you know, a mindset out there that Bobby just, you know, was tinkering around with stuff and you know, doing those little fills and so on. And there's improvisation in what he does. It's built in to tolerate improvisation. Some sections of a song more than others. But he has parts. The songs have arrangements, and even though, you know, the sound of the guitar, the tone of the guitar could change, the tempo of the song could change, even the groove could change somewhat. There's a lot of songs where they really didn't change their fundamental parts very much at all, and this is one of them where he's pretty much playing all these parts all through the years. So I know there's been some people, you know, some of the Jerry guys who've checked out some Bobby lessons, and I've gotten mail from people saying, you know, they didn't realize how much was going on with Bobby and they underestimated Bobby, etc. So this is another one where there's a set part. It's a really nice part. It's original. It really works with the song. And one last thing is, when you start to know his parts, you'll notice that it's easier to hear Bob than you thought it was. You know, that there's this thing that I can't hear Bob. Bob's parts are just subtle, and they're blended into the tune, but they're there, and once you know what they are, you tend to be able to hear them most of the time. Alright, so E major 7, we're just getting, you know, again, if you think of E major 7 here, we're just getting these two notes. And we're doing this little phrase. Now you can pick it. Sometimes if you want, you can hammer it on. You can hybrid pick it. Alright, all those are fair game. Right, where I'm picking one string with my pick and I'm using my middle finger for the B string. Okay, this is A. bobby shape that you want to be familiar with. Just two notes, the root on top, A at the 14th fret, the major third on the bottom. I'm doing a little sus. You've seen this all over his E shape. He'll use this lick quite a bit. So we've got. Alright, now we get to a lick that we're also going to need on the chorus in a different key, and it goes like this. Now I'm palm muting here. If I don't, it doesn't get that nice plucky sound. So I'm just resting the heel of my hand. I'm not pressing down, but I'm just resting it on the strings to get a nice pizzicato kind of a effect. Starting on E. Now this one you can slide it, you can hammer it on, you can pick them all. There's some variation there. I think I tend to hammer on. So just an E major. That's your major 7 right there. Yeah, it's a little bit of a stretch, but it's not too bad. I major 7 right there. There's E. Half step down. Now on this, the total phrase that you hear with the band is like that. But a lot of times if you listen to Bob's guitar, you'll hear just with the other instruments kind of filling in that in between. And I kind of like that sound, so sometimes you'll hear him do more of the whole thing. But I like that effect of just really accenting. Repeat, A, lick, okay. Now this next section we get to where he's doing like his bass line. The chord goes to A, and Bobby goes, there we go. And it's kind of how he builds a theme where everything kind of works together. Okay, that's the A chord, A major pentatonic here. This kind of is a Bobbyism too. C sharp minor is the next chord. There's going to be a slide in a minute where he does this. It seems like he should do it, and I tried to find him doing it, but he doesn't seem to do it on this C sharp. It seems like it should be like that. And he could do it, and it would be so fast you couldn't tell. But I just couldn't ever detect it. I hear... So, I don't know. If you want to put a slide in there, but you can't really hear it. So C sharp minor, if you think of C sharp minor on the 9th fret here, root, minor 3rd, root, and then the same lick like you did on the A. A, C sharp minor, B, okay, and he's on B, A. Now he plays this like that. It seems like you could go, you got your A right here, but he's going down there. Why? I don't know. I think you can make a case that the A on the 5th string sounds a little different. They definitely have a slightly different sound to them. A, C sharp minor. I'm kind of palm muting a little bit here too. Not all the time. So that's palm muted. But then some of them about. That's not palm muted. Okay. Now, on the second and third verse, it's going to go right to E there. But on the first verse, it's got some extra stuff. It goes back to C sharp minor, wondering where the nut hatch, thatch, winters. Okay. And here he does slide into the C sharp minor. So he goes, he's on A. Now it's going back to C sharp minor. You can kind of go like from A. And it's really exaggerated. There's no mistake in that one. Back to B. And he's got this little, okay, hammer on, half step, bend and release. This is leading up to the next chord, which is D. Wings of my love. Okay, so we've seen this kind of lick from Bobby where he goes, he likes that kind of deal. Just going like that. And you can use different fingers. Probably makes more sense to go like this. But I'm in the habit of using these fingers and then stretching, so you can do it this way, because then it leads you right to your A. Okay, then we get E, and A, and E. Okay, it's not major 7 there. Sometimes you might hear him play major 7, but Jerry's playing E, and Bobby will play an E, and you'll hear that E instead of E major 7, you'll hear that E. Gives it kind of a sense of finality as we lead into the chorus. Alright, so that whole section, A, C sharp minor, B, A, first verse goes back with a slide to C sharp minor, B, little lick, D, E, A, E. Then we're going to have A to C. Same ideas apply there as we did with the B minor and the A. So whole entire thing here. E major 7, A, lick, B minor, A, repeat, E major 7, A, lick, B minor, A, C sharp minor, B, A. Okay, if it's the first verse, we go back to C sharp minor, B, D. There, I see I used the right fingers. This kind of just leads you to the A, and then an E. If it's second or third verse, it's going to go A, C sharp minor, B, A, and then right to E. I did this thing in the demo where I go like kind of harp like. You hear him do that sometimes, sounds kind of nice. A, C. So that's Bobby's part on the verse, and let's move on to the chorus.
Wake up to find out that you are the eyes of the world. The heart has its beaches, its homelands and thoughts of its own. Wake now, discover that you are the song that the morning brings. The heart has its seasons, its evenings, and songs of its own.
Alright, next we get to the chorus. And again, Bobby's got a part that's characterized with nice little rhythmic phrases. You know, it's not strumming. You know, he's got little, just a few notes. Okay, and it all makes sense together. This lick here, right, so we got a G on the 12th fret. And we're really just playing 2 or maybe 3 strings. You know, you can get up to that G, but we're not playing a full chord. And this pinky here, this is, you know, this kind of thing. This note here, that's the 6. And when he does this, that's the 6 also. So in a way, they're different versions of the same lick, you know. This sounds different than, you know, but in terms of the notes, they're the same. So it's all working together. Wake up to find out that you are the eyes of the world. So now we got the same lick that we had in the verse, but now we're on G. The song changed keys for the chorus to G. But other than that, it's the same lick. I mentioned, you know, you can pull off, you can slide. Sometimes you can pull off here, so you can express the notes a little bit differently. I like this nice, real plucky one. So, C. So basically for the G chord, you're either going to have this, or you're going to have the lick. For the most part, the lick goes where there's no lyrics. And the G chord like this goes where there are. At the end, they kind of overlap. And then we got C with the 6, and then we're going to have D with the 6. And that's going to be it. So it's going to go, wake up to find out that you are the eyes of the world. See, no words. Your heart has its features, its homelands and thoughts of its own. And there we're just sliding up, you know, 1 fret at a time. From C to C sharp to D. No time for the 6 on the C sharp. D with the 6, C. Romance, its seasons, its events, and songs of its own. You can slide into that last one, give it a little punctuation, you know. And I'm kind of favoring the top 2 strings and then playing my chord. Okay, that's the chorus, G. Wake up to find out that you are the eyes of the world. Your heart has its beaches, its homelands and thoughts of its own. Discover that you are the song that the morning brings. That's where the lyrics and the lick overlap a little bit. Your heart has its seasons, its homeland of its own. Okay, sometimes you see, I like to keep the time in my hand, so sometimes I'm doing extra movement that's not doing anything, you know. Just because I want to keep the pulse. You can also throw in some little, you know, muted, I call them chuckas. But not too much of that. He's really aggressive on his upbeats, you know. There's no delay, you know, so if you're going to do anything on those upbeats, be a tiny bit early. He does that, you know, where it's not. It's like. Okay. It's kind of built into his sense of timing, I think. And that's the chorus.